Hello, everyone. It's Bon Mordecai. We're live with another episode of Ecosystem Builders. Today, we have an incredible guest. This is a lady that I just enjoy thoroughly. I've got Brenda Nobleza with us from Epicor, and we're just going to dive right in. Hey, Brenda.
Hey, Vaughn, thank you so much for having me today. I'm excited to be part of this and to have a chat with you.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. I just like to hear people's stories. So that's what this is about. And that's the point of this webcast. So let's start with yours. Who are you?
Yeah. Who am I? Wow, that's more than a half hour, Vaughn.
Yeah. Okay, so let's fit it down. Who are you as it relates to channel?
So great question. So who am I as it relates to channels? So I am the Vice President of Channels for the Americas for Epicor Software, which is a ERP software provider of manufacturing, distribution, retail, and auto solutions. So we service customers that make, move, and sell things. And some would argue service as well. So it's a fantastic place to be. It's somewhere that I just kind of fell into early in my career, many, many years ago. We won't talk about that. And it's just kind of been a long and windy, crazy ride to get to where I am today. But I think that, channel at Epicor today is the best place to be. And I'm so excited to be here. So that's kind of who I am. That's what I do today is I work with the partners who service our customers and extend out Epicor solutions. And it's a phenomenal ride right now.
That's super cool. I've been watching Epicor since you got into the organization, and it's a slightly different. We talk about it as being a little bit different. How's it a little different? How's the channel a little bit different? How's the company a little bit different?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I think what's different about Epicor in comparison with our competitors, right? We compete with tier one vendors like Oracle, SAP, and Microsoft, and then we compete all the time with other, typical mid-market ERP vendors like Infor, NetSuite, Acumatica. Not that I'm giving anybody ideas of who to go talk to, but the reality is I think what's cool about Epicor, and let me caveat that by saying I've worked for a lot of those companies, right? So I have the insider knowledge. So when I'm saying this from experience. What's cool about Epicor is that we are exclusive to our partners, right? Our partners don't compete with us. We don't compete with them, which creates an ecosystem where partners can truly thrive and grow if they're making the investments in Epicor and our solutions and our partnership. I think the other thing that's really cool about us is that we do have the diversity. So we were always known for our manufacturing channel. We've had that in place for many, many years. And it's a tried and true, very successful program. And recently with an acquisition that was made, so we have two private equity companies that are owners right now, heavy investment in channel. I think the fact that our leadership, our executive team, our investors understand the thing that we talk about all the time at the Channel Focus and Channel Executive Council is that the only way to truly grow to the heights that we want to achieve in this space that we're in is through channel, right? We need to be able to extend our solutions through partnerships. We need to be able to extend our scalability and our resource pool through partnerships. We need to be able to better serve partners with options of who they can choose to work with from a services, sales, support perspective. I think we are embracing that as a company and expanding into our additional verticals beyond manufacturing, which is very exciting. Creates opportunity for our existing partners. It creates opportunity for us to expand and add new partnerships, which is we've been doing, and it's just wonderful to experience. And it truly allows us to really better serve our customers. And that's the bottom line, is that customer experience needs to be the best it can. So that's what I'm excited about at Epicor today.
That's super cool. One of the things that we always seem to talk about is how do you get the C-suite on board? But it sounds like the C-suite's already on board, and they're saying, speed this up. Let's get more.
Faster yesterday. Yeah, absolutely.
Which is unique. Okay, so I always like to ask folks on my show, what are you passionate about? What do you like to do when you're just not at work?
When am I not at work, Vaughn? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
That is true.
I
When
do
you
work
have
a lot, but
play pickleball, what do
no,
you enjoy doing?
Vaughn, you know me. I don't play pickleball, but I do. So what am I passionate about? I'm passionate about my family. I love my kids. I love spending time with my kids. They're all older now, so they don't really reciprocate as much as I'd like. But I love my dogs. I have 2 fantastic dogs that I love and spoil. I treat them more like children. And I like being in the kitchen. I like baking. I like cooking. I like feeding people. I like entertaining. I love shopping, let's be honest. But I love people. I love to be around people. I love to socialize with people. I love to, go out to dinner with friends. I love to, I just like to be around people. I'm a people person.
Funny. I think I would have guessed that about you. I mean, just from knowing you and having a friendship with you, that's probably one of your greatest superpowers, I think. Actually.
Oh, that's sweet. Thank you, Vaughn.
It's probably also why you're so dang successful in partnerships, I would think. Let's connect the dots there.
I have passion for people, and I have passion for mentoring. That's another thing I actually really love to do is especially women in business. I try to mentor the young up and comers in our industry, but then also sometimes outside of our industry. And I honestly was motivated a lot by our former president, Lisa Pope, who just was an incredible mentor to me, gave me a great opportunity and gave me autonomy to do what I needed to do to grow this business, which I just had a ton of respect for. And I like to show other people. I started in this business at Epicor as a business development rep, right in the bottom, learning the ropes. And I've become a vice president today. And I think that's a great story to tell people that are entering this workforce and entering into this roles. And sometimes dealing with the business development position is challenging, right? Because you're getting a lot of no's and you're kind of hitting brick walls. And to persevere through that and the fact that you can turn this into whatever you want it to be, by taking advantage of whatever opportunity comes your way, I think is a great story to tell. So mentoring is another thing, Vaughn, that I really like to do.
Yeah, that's awesome. And it's funny, I was going to ask you, what do you think your most significant impact's been in Epicor and your channel positions, but it's probably in that mentoring area, isn't it? Is that what you're most proud of?
Actually, no. I think that what I am most proud of, to put it, I don't know if I would put it in those terms, but I will, because you asked the question. I think what I'm most proud of is really the transformation that I've been part of making. I haven't not done it on my own, but I've been instrumental in kind of driving, as far as really, I love my new boss, Scott Morgan. He says this really, let's remove the sunlight, right? The daylight between channel and direct. And I think that being able to be a driver of that behavior to where we are working collaboratively across our entire ecosystem, whether it's direct or channel or ISVs through our product teams, whatever it is, I think that we're breaking down those silos and we're really creating a collaborative environment where everybody's one team. Mm-hmm. And I think that's been the thing I'm most proud of. And a lot of that, Vaughn, comes from, like we were talking earlier, a lot of that comes from the empathy that I've developed over my career path, where I've been a partner. I've worked for the vendors. I've been a partner. I've been with a customer who's implementing ERP. So I've got this breadth of experience that has given me, I think, the empathy required to really understand the position of both my employer, right, as the vendor, but also the partners who are committed to us as a company and are trying to build their businesses around what we're doing. And I think what that has done for me is given me a real true understanding of the value of transparency. Yeah. I think that we need to be transparent, open, and honest with our partners. You aren't always going to like what I have to say, but you're going to hear the truth. And I think that helps people when they're dependent on a vendor for the success of their business. They need to know what we're doing and they need to know where we're going. They need to understand our roadmap and our strategies so that they can align with us. And if we're not transparent, that's where you create the conflict. And so I think that's probably what I'm most proud of.
I think that's really cool. That concept of empathy is amazing. I think for a lot of us, it's the key to our success. It's fundamentally human, right? We all work in these businesses they exist for one reason. They exist to make money, but there are a million humans running around in these businesses. And when you start recognizing that humans have needs and they go through challenges and they have bad days, and
Exactly.
It's amazing when you can kind of take it to that level, because I think people start to trust you as a result.
I think that's the key. I think that you might not always like what you're hearing. You might not always like what I'm saying, but at least you know that you can trust what I'm saying is factual, right? I pride myself on that a lot, right? I think that our partners need to know that they have a trusted voice that's going to be honest with them. And it just helps us make better business decisions, right? If they're going to invest in certain areas of the business, we need to make sure that investment is going to have the highest likelihood of paying off, right? Investments always involve risk, but I think mitigating that to the best of our ability is part of my job, right? Because these guys are out there investing lots of resources and lots of energy and time in developing things and extending solutions and building integrations and all of the things that we need our partners to do. But that has to be in line with kind of where we're going as a company.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so I'm going to bring it back to you. And I think this is just so interesting. You just mentioned that you started out doing BDR work, and there are so many folks that are new in their career, and that's not typically considered to be the most channel oriented role in the world. How did you make from if someone's trying to figure out, hey, partnerships looks really cool, I want to make a career out of this, but I'm not sure how to proceed. What kind of a path did you take? How did you kind of navigate those waters? What brought you here?
I think I fell into it. So I think the reality is, right, nobody graduates from high school and says, I want to go to college to become a channel leader, right? That just doesn't exist. And I think that you kind of, you're a channel guy, so you get it. I think the reality of the channel role, whether you're at a company like Epicor, at a company like Dell, at a company, it doesn't really matter, right? Whatever the scale of that company is, whatever the scale of the channel, an essential component for being successful in channel is relationships. You have to be passionate about people and developing those relationships and seeing other people become successful. You have to want to surround yourself with people smarter than you, better than you, more talented than you in areas where maybe you just don't excel. I think you have to not be afraid of letting other people succeed beyond you, right? I mean, I think that's part of it, right? Is you're growing these ecosystems all over the place that need to become self-sustaining and successful, and that's the job. And a lot of people in an individual contributor role don't have that ability because it's about them, which is not a bad thing. I think we need all of these different kinds of people, but in order to be successful in channel, it can't be about you. It has to be about everybody else around you.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, one of the keys that I learned is that, like I said early on, is I'm a people person and I like to see people succeed. And I'm super passionate about the people I bring into my teams and the partners we bring on, making sure that they just reach their ultimate potential. And I get a lot of self-satisfaction out of that. So personally, for me, that's a motivator. Again, not everybody feels that way. So I think that's how I ended up in the channel space. In the BDR side of the business, I learned a lot about business. I learned a lot about, the different roles that people play and what's important to the IT and what's important to the CEO and what's important, at the different levels of the business, which helped me, I think, to understand what our customers and partners are experiencing on a daily basis. But I think that what I really learned was that I loved talking to people and getting to know people. And I was more excited about seeing some of those customers later on post-implementation at our customer conferences and reconnecting and having just a conversation about them. And I think that and where are they in their business, and how is things going, and how's your wife, and like all of those things just are really important to me. So I think I morphed into this role because I care about people and their growth and their success.
We did that together. Yeah, I love that. Okay, so you find yourself in a VP. You don't find yourself in a VP.
You don't.
You're there. Okay, we'll just call it that. And you're going into this year. There, you've got all of the background that you need from the C-suite. They're supportive. It's all placed in your hands. Now what? What do you have to do for 2025 to just kick butt?
Well, the way you just teed that up, Vaughn, I have to do nothing. I'm just here. So it's just going to happen. No. What I have to do is continue the trajectory, right? We have to capitalize on what we've done really well. Like I mentioned early on, we've done a really good job building a very successful manufacturing channel. Our partners are all top tier. They're all, overachieving their numbers every year. They're delivering results. And I think that's how we've proven the success of this model to take it to the next level. So we just launched our distribution channel in October.
Okay.
We're showing tremendous success there. We're overachieving all of our goals. We've successfully onboarded multiple partners, and we need to continue that positive trajectory to build that to the equal or even greater than our manufacturing channel today. And now we're working on developing our retail channel. So again, the next phase, right? We're just going to keep building that until the SI infrastructure. We're bringing in lots of system integrators to not only address the professional services side of the business, but also all the integrations. There's unlimited capabilities that we can deliver to customers through integrations, right? Like it's a never-ending ecosystem that can continue to grow and grow and grow. And so that's where I'm focusing, is just bringing it all to life. How do we bring all of these things together? And how do we create even more maybe strategic opportunities from some of our existing partners that have been so dedicated and have these skill sets? And how do we bring those cross-vertical and really just expand on every capability we have for our customers? Vaughn, one of the things I think we're all seeing in the business environment today is private equity, right? Private equity is buying up. We're a mid-market vendor, right? We supply the mid SMB to enterprise. I mean, we definitely have customers that run the gamut, and obviously we're pushing more upstream all the time. But you see it, especially in manufacturing and distribution. There's just a ton of private equity out there buying up all of these companies, and they don't just have a manufacturing portfolio or just have a distribution portfolio. They have a very broad portfolios. And I think it's really important that as a supplier to make, move, and sellers, right, we need to be able to service them across the board and really make sure that we as a company are trying to support all of those diverse needs. And I think that's why it's important that we kind of build out this channel ecosystem across all of our vertical solutions, because that's how we're going to do it. Right. Yeah. It's not going to be a plug and play one solution for everybody. It's going to be, there's going to be a lot of moving parts, and we need to be nimble and be able to work with our customers to deliver what they need.
Yeah, that makes sense. In my consulting days, one of the things that you see happen, and it looks like you're headed in this trajectory, is that on the one hand, because you're in more and more verticals and more countries and more, there's more and more all the time. The programs have to start to address all of those complexities, but then you also start to realize is that it gets more and more complex. How do you make it simpler for folks? What are you doing to try to keep it simple but address the complexity?
That's a really great question. I was just having a meeting about this yesterday with one of my counterparts who deals very heavily in the influencer and private equity side of the business, right?
Mm-hmm. I think particularly in that world, yeah,
that's a really important play as well, is making sure that the influencers in the world that our customers are going to for help in making some of these decisions understand what Epicor brings to the table. And what our roadmap looks like. Where are we going? What are we developing? What's cool about our solutions? Let's obviously AI. Let's talk about how we're applying AI into everything we do. making sure that we're communicating that openly and honestly so that the influencers of the world are equipped to have those conversations with their customers is essential. I think really capitalizing on all the relationships we have with private equity and being proactive in trying to help understand where they're going with their strategies so that we can align with them and support them is really important. And I think, like I mentioned, the system integrators, I think, is really critical because we're never going to be the one-stop shop for all of these companies, but how do we provide analytics and reporting and again, AI applications and tools to be able to help the private equity see what's happening across all their diverse portfolio so they can make better decisions and have better access to data. So, it seems like really basic stuff, but it's not. I mean, it takes effort, it takes energy, it takes intention, and I think that we are really trying to work to make sure that we are that provider for those entities. So that's one of the things. The second answer is that we're working really hard on bundling our solutions and creating I'll call them sales plays, for lack of a better term, that really that put our solutions together to solve problems. What is the use case and how can we solve that use case instead of here's our software, this is what it does for you, this is how you should use it. I think it's much more about understanding where the companies are trying to go and solving that problem. And we can do that because we've made, I'm going to get the number wrong, but we've made a number of acquisitions over the past 3 years to shore up gaps in our solutions as it applies to this very topic, right? What are we seeing across our customer base that's a gap that we are either having to integrate to externally or, develop solutions for? And let's go buy some of those companies to shore up these gaps and integrate them across our portfolio. So we've got an entire portfolio of what we call strategic applications that aren't necessarily part of the core Kinetic on the manufacturing side or P21 on the distribution side, but they are all applications available to our customers that we are integrating to our solution. So doing that for our customers, I think, is a really big incentive for them to hopefully want to do business with us.
So age of the ecosystem, right? It's absolutely appropriate and applicable for you all. How are you? It looks like you're totally embracing it. How are you keeping track of it? That's the other thing. You've got these sales playbooks. You've got, 1 million people in the room. It's probably, research suggests that it's probably 7, but you've got all these different sellers, all these different companies represented, whether they're the current under your umbrella or outside of your umbrella via SIs and whatnot. How are you keeping all of the channel salespeople and the direct sellers in those environments aware and able to sell these big solutions when they're crossing all these different companies?
That is a great question, and that's actually something that we have recently expanded on. So we have an incredible team on our enablement side that does sales enablement, services enablement, all of the required solution engineering enablement. We have a phenomenal team of people that manage that and are really good at making sure that we, as sales organization, services organization, whatever the case may be, have all the tools to be able to have those conversations with customers. So we are constantly doing lunch and learns and sessions and things like that to make sure everybody's educated. And we have really great platforms to be able to provide all that content so you can go and research it on your own anytime it comes up with a customer, right? Or if you're preparing for a call, how can you be prepared for that call based on what you've learned about this customer before you enter that call? Those kinds of things. The other thing I would say is that we have a team of people that are running our strategic solutions product group that are constantly collaborating with the core ERP teams as well to make sure that we kind of solidify that and understand, we may have solutions within our core products that are just enhanced by some of these strategic solutions. Not every customer is going to need them, but some customers are going to want them. And I think it's really important to understand when you're talking to a customer about that difference between need and want, the true differentiator between what these solutions can offer you, and is that going to truly be a value to your business? And the fact that you don't have to do it all up front, right? It's important for customers to know that we're building this tool program for them, that we're constantly acquiring products and we are investing in their growth, and that as they grow and they plan these strategies, we saw over the past probably 10 years, a lot of manufacturers and distributors are also building service entities. They're diversifying their portfolios as well, right? So we have to be able to help them as they're doing that with the strategic applications that we're acquiring. So it's all about communication and transparency, Vaughn. We gotta make sure people stay in the know.
Good. Okay, so we're honing in on the end of this, and I like to ask two main questions. The first one is, tell me a story. Okay, tell me a story of a success, a lesson that you learned, something that surprised you, something that you ran across that inspired you to do what you do. I mean, just anything that really impacted you and your success in partnerships.
All right, I'm going to tell a more recent story because I'm passionate about it and I'm excited about it, and it's been a journey. So
Okay.
we have we sell to our customers either perpetual on-premise, where they can install on site or host externally, as well as SaaS, right? And obviously everybody in our ecosystem is going SaaS. That's just the way technology is moving, right? And so we're moving right along with them. And I think that we have a partner, one of our partners, who has a large Microsoft practice that has been very successful in that external hosting side of the business. A lot of customers choose to do that for one of many reasons, right? They could want to host their entire infrastructure, not just their ERP. They could have latency issues depending on their location. They could, all kinds of different reasons. They could need direct access to their data. They could, not have the staff to be able to keep up with an automated upgrade cadence. All kinds of reasons. So this partner was really successful doing this, and was kind of seen as competitive a little bit, because we were trying to move customers to our cloud, and customers were sometimes choosing this option that our teams internally couldn't deploy for our customers. And so working with that partner, we decided, hey, why don't we just go on this journey to make this available to everybody and create another option for customers, but through Epicor, so that everybody can take advantage of it and it's not just exclusive to this one partner. And so we've worked over the past 3 years to make that happen, and have now made that available as a custom cloud solution for our customers as well, which first of all eliminates that competitive feel that we had, within our employee base, but then also really extends that option out to our customers. So customers that aren't comfortable, or for whatever reason can't move into our cloud, now have an option to move into the cloud through Epicor as well, but addressing those challenges that were preventing them from taking advantage of all the benefits of cloud, right?
Wow.
On-prem perpetual licensing is just not going to move forward at some point, and we need to make sure that we have a solution for these customers that serves their needs. So it's
a 1 + 1 = 3 type of engagement. Holy cow. That's really cool.
Yeah, true value partnership, right? It extends you where you can't extend yourself.
Yeah. All right. So this is the last question that I always like to ask. The big tip, the big aha moment. What's one big essential tip that you would give to the people you mentor, the people that are listening, on how to manage ecosystems, how to develop your career? I mean, it could be anything, but what's your one big tip?
Don't be afraid.
Yes.
Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Don't be afraid to suggest ideas. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask for help. And don't be afraid to be true to yourself and to stay honest. I think that's what I would say.
Oh, that aligns extremely well to your superpower.
Awesome, Vaughn. Thank you.
This has been amazing. Thank you so much for taking the time with me, and I just really appreciate it, and I'm sure so do all of our listeners. So
well, thank you for the opportunity. This is fantastic, and you are just an incredible human being. So thanks for letting me participate.
Nice. I like it. All right. With that, I think we're done. Till next time, folks. Take it easy, and we'll see you next time as we go around. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.